So now, I'll introduce you the Power BI application, how it looks like, and what are the necessary steps we need to take. And once I introduce you the application, I will explain you like what exactly happens in real time, from where you have to start, so that you'll be having the idea about the your real time work from your first day itself. Okay, so let me open the Power BI application. So like this is the Power BI desktop application, which looks similar to a traditional MS Word or MS Point or any other Microsoft service. So like it's pretty simple, it's very user friendly, and you don't need much time to learn about these things. They're very user friendly and very easy to learn, right? And this is the place where you develop your reports, your visuals. So these are the visualizations available. So this is the place where you develop your reports. Like what happens in Excel? In Excel you'll be having visuals over here, so you'll click those visuals and you'll build that. But then like in Power BI, like we'll be having visualizations over here, and we have to take this visualization and like drag values. Like these are the fields where we'll be having dimension tables and fact tables. So we have to drag those values here, and we have to build that visual, and we have to save it, and we have to publish it. So that's all. So it's pretty easy to understand and pretty easy to learn, but all you need is a practice. While how to I'll be guiding you like how to practice in a proper manner, so that you'll be having a complete hands-on experience on the tool. All right. I'm sorry. So now, so what happens in real time, like how your day-to-day life will be once you get hired as a Power BI developer, how you'll communicate with your users, how you'll start your work, and where you will publish your work, and all these things. So I'll be showing you a clear picture about it. Okay, so there is a tool called as Azure DevOps. It's a web login again. Let me show you that. I cannot actually log in because it's an organizational login again. It's not a free service login. So this is how Azure DevOps board looks like. This is how it will be. Okay, so what happens in an organization is like they will follow like for any project development. It could be a report development, it could be a application development, or it could be anything. Take anything. If let's say you're working, right? So for that they will follow a strategies. That strategies is called as agile methodology. Like you might have heard about the software development life cycle in your college days. So we have two types of development life cycles. The first one is waterfall model, and the second one is agile methodology. Right now the organizations, they don't follow the waterfall model. Majority of the organizations will follow agile methodology. Okay, so what we will have in agile methodology, and how it will be, how the development happens, how the continuous integration happens, we'll see all those things now. Okay, so the first one is in agile methodology we will have sprint. Can you see here like sprints? So this is called like we will be having a sprints. Okay, so in sprints, what like the business will plan, okay fine, these are the user stories, or these are the things we need to develop. Okay, hi Manindra. So these are the things we need to develop for this particular sprint. Usually a sprint will be for 2 weeks, like 2 working weeks, or like depends on the project. Like some projects will have like 3 weeks, right? But then like the minimum will be, it will be for 2 weeks of sprint. So for the 2 weeks, business will give you few things to develop. Like let's say for example, I own a business and I have given a project to you guys for all you 4 people, I have given a project to develop these things. So what I'll be doing is like I'll be giving you some tasks to build for these 2 weeks. All right, and then what you have to do is you will go through those tasks. Okay, are these possible to develop within these 2 weeks, or do we need more time to develop? You will analyze all those things, right? And once you analyze all those things, and once you feel like yes, these can be developed within these 2 weeks, so what you will do, you will mention the time frame for each task. This task will take 10 hours, this task will take 32 hours, this task will take 6 hours to finish. So you will mention the time points, right? So how all these things will happen? All these things will happen under Azure DevOps board. Or there are many other things, like we have Jira ticketing tool, we have like VSTS, like lot many tools are available, but majority of the companies as of now they were using Azure DevOps. And moreover, like when you're explaining your interview, like they will ask you like tell me about your daily roles and responsibilities, how you will be, like how you will be your work style in your project. So you can mention these things, like we will be having our sprint tickets in Azure DevOps. So according to the user stories given by the business, we go with the continuous development. That's all. Simple. Like so the interviewer will get to know, like okay fine, this guy has a real-time experience, and he has knowledge about what things happen, and how things happen in the organization, right? So we'll be having sprints, and every sprint will have its user stories. Okay, now let me show you how those user stories will look like. This is one of the example. Yeah. So this is the screenshot of a user story. Okay, you can see here the heading like user story, and every user story will have its own number, some unique number. One user story, like one particular number cannot be given to multiple user stories. So every user story will have its own unique number. Okay, and this is the headline of the user story. As a salesperson, I want to be able to create a new account so that I may manage my stakeholders. This is the headline of the requirement, or this is the headline of the development. And then next, you will see the name to whom it got assigned. And here, like it's mentioned like Tricia Sinclair. So it got assigned to Tricia Sinclair, right? And then how many comments were there on this entire story? How many comments were there? And then if you can want to add a tag, you can add a tag. For example, like this story belongs to Power BI, you can just click on and you can just like type in as PBI, the way how you add hashtags in your social media posting. So similarly, you can add tags here, right? And then the state is nothing but like we have to mention in which state this user story is. Is it in active status? Is it in development status? Is it in testing status? Or is it in business story sign off status? Or is it in done status? Or is it in committed status? Like there will be some different states, right? And you have to follow according to your business requirement. Your business requirement will mention you like in which state you have to keep this user story depending on the work done. Okay, so you have to mention the state here, and then you will be having a description for this user story, what exactly you have to do to achieve this particular user story. Everything will be explained pretty clearly here. You have to read the description. Fine, this is the thing. Currently accounts are visible only to the salesperson that created the record, leading to duplicates and commission duplicates and acceptance criteria. So what you have to do, everything will be mentioned here, and you have to go through, you have to read that. And let's say for example, you did not understand the description, or there is like the language is very hard for you to understand, or you did not understand the requirement completely, you understood only like some amount of the requirement. What you have to do at that point of time, you have two options. The first option is you can either approach your one of your colleagues in your team, you can have a discussion with them, like, hey XYZ, I could not understand this description completely, like shall we go through, right? So you both can discuss. If still you did not get any inputs, like if you both did not understand the requirement completely, then immediately approach your team lead without wasting your time. Immediately approach your team lead, and your team lead will discuss the requirement. If still your team lead does not have like feels like, okay fine, this description is very hard to understand, we need more clarification or we need more information to develop this particular user story, then what your team lead will do, he will assign a call with the business people, with the production, with the product owners, and with the story creators, like whoever is involved in this project from the business, he will assign a call with them. And in that call you have to ask, or your team lead will be asking the business people about the requirement. So they will ask, they will explain for your questions. So one at the time of explanation, you have to make down all those points, like you have to note down all those points. All right. And then once you feel like, yes, I've got my I've understood the entire requirement and I'm ready to go ahead with the development, then you will analyze how long it will take, or like what else you need to develop these things. Do you need any other extra resources, like any other extra access to tables in database, or do you have everything with you to develop, or do you need any extra resources? If you feel like you had everything, then it's good for you to go ahead with the development. If not, approach your database team to get the access to the required tables. So this is your daily life activities in any organization, right? So once you feel like, yes, you're good to develop the user story, you'll start developing, you'll start working on it. Okay. And then once you start working on it, every day you have to update your DevOps. Example, like you'll be mentioning like how many hours it will take to finish this in user story, right? Let's say for example, it will take 32 hours to finish this user story. Okay. And for example, you have worked for today, you have worked for 8 hours. Okay. So before signing off, you have to update your DevOps, like, okay fine, as you have worked already for 8 hours on this thing, you have to minus that 8 hours in the hours section, like 32 minus 8, it could be what, 24 hours left. So there is 24 hours left to build this user story. For example, due to any kind of reason, if you are not able to finish off this user story in this sprint, I'm not talking about the planning hours, if you are not able to finish this particular user story in this sprint, you need to inform your team lead, hey, I'm not able to finish this particular user sprint or the particular user story in this sprint because it's taking a lot more time to develop, so can you move to next sprint, right? So then what your team lead will do, he will move this particular user story to the next sprint, right? You have to communicate with your lead, you have to you have to keep your communication very transparency with your lead so that he can manage things, right? Understood, people? You have any questions, like how it works in the real time? Vinil, Manindra, Kanda, Manindra, I think both were same. Any questions?
Yeah, I have connected in mobile also.
Okay, no problem.
Microphone problem.
Okay, no problem. So you understood how it works in day-to-day activities?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now, so this is the Power BI material I have. I have prepared some 17 pages of material, and this I'll be sharing this material within a few days. All right, and like this material will have detailed information, like each and every point information related to Power Query Editor, where we'll be doing some basic ETL transformations, including with the screenshots. Okay, we'll be having all the detailed information about Power Query Editor, not for the Power BI desktop. Okay, for the Power BI desktop, I'll be giving another material for you guys to follow the steps. I'll be sharing one PowerPoint presentation and also one Word document as well for the Power BI desktop, right? So now, so I believe you guys were aware of the Power BI architecture, like what exactly happens in Power BI architecture. So as soon as you understand the requirement, so now you got one user story and you understood the requirement. So now what I have to do? Simple. You open your Power BI desktop. You open your Power BI desktop, and you will establish, or you will create a connection with your data source, and then you will fetch, or you will take all the tables whichever required to develop that particular user story, and then you'll start working. So how we will do that? So I have opened my Power BI desktop. I'll go to get data section here. Under home, I have a get data section here. Okay, I'll click on more. And now I'm connecting to SQL Server. I have SQL Server database in my local machine. Okay, so I'm connecting to SQL Server. So for that, I'll click on this, or you will choose whatever the database you are connecting, depending on your organization or depending on your projects. They'll give those details to which we have to connect. Okay, so in my system, I have SQL Server database now. So I'm connecting a SQL Server database. Now you see here, I have to enter the server name and I have to enter the database, and I have an I symbol here. So what does it mean? It's a mandatory, like I have to enter the server name, and database is optional. I can enter the database or I can just leave it as a blank. All right. So now how I can get this server name, from where I'll get this server name? In your organization, in your real-time project, you will be given with these details. They will give you like what is the server address, and they will give you the database name as well. Everything will be shared with you, so no need to worry about that. So here in this scenario, now how I can get my server name? I'll go to my SQL Server Management Studio. So now I can see here, like now my server name is mentioned as like desktop-63 VCCRM. So this is my server name. I need to copy this thing. Copy, come back here and paste it here. And as of now, forget about the data connectivity mode. I'll be discussing this data connectivity modes in further sessions. Okay, so I'm connecting, establishing a connection. Click on OK. So this is the Navigator page. Understand one thing, irrespective of the data source you are connecting, it could be any data source, it could be Excel, it could be a PDF file, it could be a SQL server, it could be a Snowflake, anything, like whatever the data source is available in Power BI, right? So whenever you try to establish any connection with that particular source, immediately the first step happens is you will get a navigator page. The very first step is you will get a navigator page, right? And navigator page is used to see all the databases available in that server. So this is the server name, desktop-63 VCCRM. So this is the server name, and these are the available data warehouses in this server. So as of now, there is only one data warehouse, which is AdventureWorks data warehouse. Okay, so these are the data warehouses available. And when I expand it, these are the views. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These first 5 are the views. Like views will be denoted in this format. A view will be denoted in this format, and these are the tables. A table will be identified in this format, right? So if it is a blank, it's a view. If it is in this format, it's a table. So now you will select all the tables required for you to develop your project. Right. So now I have selected the tables whatever required. Okay, fine. I feel like okay, these tables were enough for me to develop my entire project, right? And now I can see here like the preview, like this is the preview, like whatever the table you select, that particular table will be displayed here. You can see all the example data which is available. Now, very important thing, we have 3 options here: load, transform data, and cancel. So what happens when we click on load, and what happens when we click on transform data, and what happens, like what happens when you click on cancel? This navigator page will go off. So now if I click on load, this entire selected tables, whatever the tables I have selected here, so those tables will be loaded into Power BI desktop directly. I'll show you too. When I click on load, you can see those tables loading here. You see, like now it started working. It will take 2 to 3 minutes time to load the entire data. So let's wait for that. Yeah, now the data got loaded. Now can you see, like under fields I have these tables now, the tables whatever I have selected from the data warehouse, right? So when I click on load, the entire data will be loaded to Power BI desktop so that we can start working on it. Okay, so now but there is another option which is I'm selecting team, currency, customer, date, employee, geography, organization, product, category, fact, internet sales. So now I have another option which is called as transform data. So what happens when I click on transform data? Where it will go? Will the data load to Power BI desktop directly? No, because it will be loaded to desktop only when I click on load. But when I click on transform data, the data will be loaded into Power Query Editor. Let me show you the architecture here. So now these are the data sources which we will connect. So I have now what I have done, I have established a connection with the data source. And now when I click on transform data, the data will be moved into query editor, which is Power Query Editor, where we will do the data transformation, or where we call it as like ETL in Power BI desktop. Like we can make some small transformations to the existing tables. Okay, so these are the existing tables for me. For these tables I can make small changes according to my requirement. Okay, when I click on this transform data, the data will be loaded into Power Query Editor, or else there is another option available. Since I have loaded the data directly to Power BI desktop, now let's say I have loaded the data into Power BI desktop, but now I want to go to query editor. I want to make transformations. How I can do that? So do I have to go back to recent sources and I have to establish a connection again with the server and select all the tables? No, not needed. Under home ribbon, we have an option called as transform data. The same thing, whatever the options we have under the load transform data and cancel, the same like this is the transform data option. The same option we have it here. So once you click on the drop down, you'll see transform data. Just need to click on transform data, and you can see now Power Query Editor was opened, and these were all the tables, right? So now whatever the changes you make here for any table, it could be for any table, whatever the changes you make, all those changes will be applied once you click on close and apply, and those changes will be applied on the Power BI desktop information as well. So this is nothing but like in query editor we have another copy of the data. Okay, is it clear, guys? Are you understanding? Are you following it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now I've got the data into query editor, right? So now what I have to do? What is my task, right? So simple. So once you come to query editor, you like whatever the requirement according to your user story. I have shown you, right? Like you'll be given user stories for every development. So according to the description, if you feel like okay, fine, I have to change something according to that, you will be making those transformations or you will be making those changes, and you will click on close and apply, and those changes will be applied into Power BI desktop as well, and then you start developing your visualizations. So from tomorrow's session, I will be guiding you, or I'll be I'll be starting with all the options like one by one. We have home ribbon, we have transform ribbon, we have add call, like we have multiple options available, we have add column ribbon, right? So I'll go through all these options one by one from tomorrow's session. Okay, and so I'll show you like a basic thing, like how we have to like how the visualization happens in Power BI desktop. So as of now I'm taking one sample stacked column chart. So this is a sample visualization I have taken. So now I want to display product wise sales. So like which particular product is is having some higher sales, and which particular product is having some lower sales. Okay, so for that what I'm taking product name, English product name. So I have taken the product name. You can just click on this particular box, or else simply you can just click and drag it here. Okay, and then come back to fact internet sales. You will find sales amount. Just keep it here. Now you can see for each and every product, you can see that the graph was built. So this is a basic development. This is the basic development in Power BI. So this is how you build any graph. If you have your dimension, if you have your x-axis values and y-axis values like within the table itself, this is how you develop. You'll save it and you'll publish it. This is what you will do. But in real time, what happens in real time, you have to whatever the data you have, like whatever the data you'll be getting from the from the data source. So that particular data will not have all the requirements for you to do with the business development. So what you will do, like you will make some transformations, you will create some new calculations, and then you will use those calculations in the visualization and you will publish. So that's what actually happens in the real time. Okay, so now according to the architecture, we understood why what happens in the query editor, right? And now like whatever the changes we have done in query editor will move into Power BI desktop, and we will do the visualization. Once the visualization is done, we will publish that visualizations or reports to the business user, and the business user will start using those reports. That happens in Power BI service, right? So this is the entire architecture where you will be working on, even in the practice session or even in the real time. The same thing you will be doing. All right. And now let's see the one of the important concept, which is called as Power BI components. So what were the basic components available in Power BI? The first one is Power BI desktop. And what Power BI desktop is used for? The Windows desktop based application for PCs and desktops, primarily for designing and publishing reports to the service. So basically the Power BI desktop is used to develop the reports and to publish those reports into Power BI service. And next one is Power BI service. What Power BI service is used? It's a software as a service based online service. This was formerly known as Power BI for Office 365, now referred to as powerbi.com or simply Power BI. I've shown you yesterday, right? app.powerbi.com. Okay, I cannot open this thing because like I have my organizational account logged in. Let me show you this home page of Power BI service, like how it looks like. Yeah. So this is the Power BI service homepage. This is how it will look like. You will be having your dashboards here in Power BI home, in Power BI service. So from here, the user or whoever the business person, like we'll be sharing this particular dashboard to that user, and the user will pick, will consume this dashboard. Just hold on, guys, for a second. Yeah. So this is the where a place where we share the dashboards to the end users, and the end users will be able to see this dashboards. All right. Next one is Power BI mobile apps. The Power BI mobile apps for Android and iOS devices are well known as for Windows phones and tablets. So there is an application in Play Store, like you can go ahead and develop, download that Power BI mobile apps. Let me show you that. So this is the mobile application, Microsoft Power BI. So you can now, like, after the session, you can download this particular mobile app and you can check like how the interface will be like. Okay, so in this mobile power app, you can view your reports, like whatever the dashboards were there according to your login. You have to log in again in that into your app account, and once you log into your app account, according to your login, like whatever the access you have, those dashboards will be able to see here. Like I can I can show you a sample video of it. Even in a tablet, you can view your dashboards in your tablet. You can navigate from there, like how it was shown in the video. You can navigate. So this is how you can see your dashboards and reports in Microsoft Power BI application, mobile application as well, right? The next one is Power BI Gateway. A gateway is used to sync external data in and out of Power BI and are required for automated refreshes. Fine. On the demo day, I have shown you one particular architecture. Let me show it again. So you can see here, I have clearly mentioned, right, data refresh, and what this data refresh will be like. So like once you have developed your report, so every day you'll be getting some new data into the source, right? So you have to update that new data into your report as well. So for that, what we have to do, we have to do a data refresh, like automatic refresh. We call it as schedule refresh in Power BI. Okay. So once to do the schedule refresh, what we need Power BI gateway. Without this gateway, we cannot perform schedule refresh. So we have to install the Power BI gateway, and then we have to assign the schedule refresh. So what gateway is used for? It is used to perform the automated refreshes, or it is used to perform schedule refresh in Power BI. All right. And the next one is Power BI report server, an on-premises Power BI reporting solution for companies that won't or can't store data in the cloud-based Power BI service. So like whoever feels like I don't want to store my data in cloud, I want my data, or I want everything to be set up in my organization, in my office itself. So for those kind of people, we will install the Power BI report server, and in that report server will hold all the data sets and all the reports and all the dashboards. Like we don't publish it into Power BI service. We'll just keep it in Power BI report server, and from the report server, the users, like whoever want to use that particular dashboards, they will access from the report server. All right, clear guys? You understood the Power BI components, like what everything desktop you use it for, service, mobile apps, gateway, report server. You will be asked in the interview like what were the Power BI components. You can simply say like these are the Power BI components: desktop, service, mobile apps, gateway, report server. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So any questions till now? Understood the flow, and did you understood like what we do in real time? You have any questions? Vinil and Manindra, you have any questions?
No, no, it's clear.
Okay. And Vinil, how about you? You have any question? So Manindra, am I going too fast, or the speed is okay?
Okay, but just need slow, slow.
Okay, fine then. I'll keep it. I'll try to keep it very slow.
And please explain Power BI gateway once again.
Power BI gateway. Okay, fine.
Yes.
So Power BI gateway is nothing but it is used to perform the schedule refresh. What is about schedule refresh? So I have developed my report. Let's say, for example, I'm taking this one. 1 second. So this is my dashboard, Manindra. Like I have developed this dashboard, right? So now what I have to do on every day, I have given this dashboard to my user. My user is like, checking this dashboard. He is using this dashboard and he's taking decisions accordingly. And now every day, like, business will run and new data will be generated. New sales will happen. New customers will be coming in. Okay, Vinil, no
Yes.
problem. So new data will be generated, right? So that new data also should be displayed here, should be displayed in the dashboard, right? So for that, what I have to do, I have to, like, I have to create one time. Let's say my business working hours is from morning 8 to evening 5 o'clock. I'll close my business by evening 5 o'clock. Okay, so by 7 or 8 o'clock the entire data will be prepared properly, and that particular data will be loaded into tables, and everything is done by 8 o'clock, let's say, for example. Now by 9 o'clock you will set a time in Power BI service. Hey, at 9 o'clock, like whatever the new data was there, take that new data and copy that new data into this dashboard. Got it, Manindra?
Yeah, please repeat.
Yeah, so every day, like let's say your business operations are from morning 8 to evening 5 o'clock. Okay, so in
Yes.
this particular time you will run your business. So some sales will happen, some customers will come, some products will be sold, some new products will be added. So something will happen like in your business, right? Some new data will get generated. So now you have to display, or you have to use that newly generated data in your dashboard,
Yes. Yes.
right? So now what I have to do that? So shall I go ahead and you cannot ask a developer, hey, like my new data is generated, update it into Power BI desktop, or update it into my dashboard. You cannot ask him daily, like, or else, like we cannot do it manually. It's not, we can do manually, but then it doesn't look good like doing these simple things manually. So what Power BI has done, Power BI has created, or it introduced a topic called as schedule refresh. What schedule refresh will do? You will assign a particular time. By that time, so whatever the new data was there in the source, in the database, so that new data will be added to this particular dashboard.
Okay. Okay. Right. It's
Okay.
automatically updated.
Yeah, automatically the data will be updated every day at a
Okay. Right.
specified
Clear.
time. So that is called as schedule refresh. So to automatically update that, we need Power BI gateway.
Yes. Yes.
Understood? It's just a bridge. Power BI
Okay.
gateway is a bridge between Power BI service and the database.
Yes. Clear.
Clear? Okay. So from tomorrow's session, we'll start with the options available under with Power Query Editor, like the basic transformations, what we will do. And then once we finish the Power Query Editor, once we learn all these things, I'll be giving an assignment, and you have to finish that assignment, and then we'll come to Power BI Desktop and we'll start developing the visuals. Okay, is it clear, Manindra?
Yes. Clear.
Okay, thank you, Vinil, and thank you, Manindra. So shall I close?
Uh,
Yeah, please.
I have installed Management Studio,
Okay.
but I can't connect my server. Uh,
Okay, you cannot
uh,
not install the Adventure Data Works to your server.
I have installed.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay,
uh,
do one thing, Manindra. That's fine. Like, do one thing. Just call to the the management in the evening. So they will arrange a conference call to me. You can explain me in that call. I'll guide you how to, like, how to do that.
yeah. Okay.
Around 5 o'clock, you can call to the management, to whomever you are speaking. I think you're talking to Malati, right?
Yes. All that.
Okay, you can call to Malati at 5 o'clock in the evening and ask her to arrange a conference call. She will call me, and you can explain what exactly is happening. I'll guide you, like, or else, like, if necessary, I will take your system connection and I'll proceed with installation. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
I will
Manindra.
try once again, and
Yeah, sure. But let me
okay.
know, like, if it is working for you or not.
Yes.
Okay, Manindra. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Bye. And Manindra,
Bye.
like, is it fine for you if you are having a session at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 to 9?
8 to 9. 8 to 9.
Or 9 to 10?
Not sure, but and
Okay.
I will working on second shift.
Okay. Okay. No issues, Mandar. No issues. And Vinil, how about you? Like, are you fine with 8 to 9 or 9 to 10? What is your preferred timing? Yeah, morning only, like morning 8 to 9 or 9 to 10. At what time? 9 to 10. Okay, Vinil. Fine then. Thank you, Vinil. So do you have any questions, Vinil, or shall I close the session?
Actually, we both are same same location.
Acha, acha, acha. Okay, okay, fine then. Fine then.
Same location means
Same
working on
room.
same company.
Acha, okay, okay, okay. Fine, 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 fine. So you both can have a discussion and you can
Yeah.
learn very easily.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, Mandra. See you then. I'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.